Okay, I think I'm live and the Discord people know. So we're all set. We're all set. It's a little bit early for me to be streaming, especially on a Saturday, but I am trying to get more in the habit of streaming more often, making videos more often. And oops, let's get the sound on here. There we go. And yeah, I'm wanting to get in the mood of doing a little bit more streaming more often and give you an opportunity this time actually. You know, I make videos and sometimes it takes me so long to make a video because I do have to do so much research and I have to go through so many cycles of feedback. Lately I've been streaming my working session with the content I have to get some initial feedback, and then it helps me create the final video. And I actually had recorded a video to publish today, but I felt like it would really have its best shape if I got some early feedback from all of you. So, oops, this is not pointing in the right direction, okay? Sorry if the audio didn't work out quite well. Let's see, okay. Let me see, oh, I have to tell the Discord people, there we go. Okay, now I'm online. I do have content prepared, so what I'm gonna do is go through it, talk about what I'm about to do. I'll try to give the actual video, the presentation, but we'll do a little commentary as I go through each slide. I'll take your feedback, answer a few questions. Unlike a normal live stream where I'm just gonna answer, you know, I will go as long as people want and answer essentially anything or go to any topic. This time I'm going to restrict it to a working session just for this topic, which is $500 Android drawing tablets, or 500 and below. So we're going to talk about that, and I think hopefully a few of the people in the Discord will join us. So let me get my files ready. And let me see if I can project onto the screen. And I am going to need also to, in a second, where's my iPad? Well, maybe the iPad's not the right solution for this. Let's see if I can do it slightly differently. Give me a second. Oh, no wonder that wasn't. I was looking at the wrong browser window. Let's start Chrome up. And get to my script. So again, this is going to be a dry run. I'd love your feedback. It really helps me to have it as I'm creating this content. Just makes the final result so much better. And in the middle of all this, preparing this content, I upgraded to Mac OS 26, which I'm enjoying, though I think it is disruptive for some Wacom users. Lots of people are saying they're having issues. Okay, so let us start projecting a little bit. Let's see. I think I want this. Oh, not the right thing. Not the right thing. Let's see. Let's get, oh, here we go. There we go. Got the right, there we go. So this is just sort of a placeholder slide just to help you understand what the content is. So it is basically my recommendations for Android drawing tablets for 2025. So now I'll actually start the formal presentation. Well, what's happening is the holiday season is going to start very soon. And what happens when we get close to the holiday season? Of course, people are interested in buying drawing tablets. And there are going to be a lot of videos we're going to make. Specifically, I know from experience for the past couple of years, I'm going to get a lot of questions on which standalone drawing tablet should I buy. There are a lot of choices and a lot of different kinds of drawing tablets that are standalone. So there are a bunch of these categories, and I'm just going to go over them. And we're going to focus on the last item. So there's 2-in-1 laptops. A Samsung Galaxy Book 360 is a perfect example. And I have that, and I do like using it quite a bit. And then there are Slate laptops. So ones that, don't have a built-in keyboard, they're just basically a screen. Microsoft Surface Pro is a great example. And there are pen computers. So Wacom Mobile Studio Pro. And just to get this out of the way, I don't recommend pen computers because they're too expensive to buy and too expensive to repair. And they have very limited, if any, ability to upgrade. Now, this first three items, they're really, they're normal computers, right? They're all, in essence, laptops. And that means they're all running Windows. Okay, so that sort of sets them apart. We're not talking about those in this video. The other class of devices are, and of course, that first set of three kinds of devices, they are all pen enabled in some way. Then we have mobile devices that support pen input. And the two classic ones are Apple iPads with the Apple Pencil and Android tablets. So, for example, the Samsung Galaxy Tab S series. And that's the segment that I'm focusing on in this video. And of course, the most popular sort of question is, the price range I see most people want to talk about is between $400 to $500. Yes, there are a limited set of tablets at like $250. Samsung Galaxy Tab S6 Lite. But, it's still so underpowered. While it's fine for a beginner, I think really $400 to $500 is the right place to be, which gives you a great balance of features and performance. Okay, Galaxy Note series. Someone wants me to include the Galaxy Note series on here. Let me just ask them, Galaxy Note support S Pen? Okay, because I've never used the Galaxy Note. Which really is a good segue to my next slide, which is, which tablets am I going to discuss? And these are the ones I will talk about in this video, okay? And it looks like there's some flickering going on. Hopefully that'll resolve itself. I can't talk about every tablet because I don't have every tablet. And I like to talk about the devices I have experience with, or there's just a well understood consensus. Okay, I prefer to talk about devices I actually own. Let's see. Someone says my question to them: does the S Pen work with the Galaxy Note? And it looks like it does. Okay, that's good. So Huion Canvas Slate. There are two models, two sizes: Wacom Moving Pad 11, Samsung Galaxy Tab S9 FE. The XP Pen Magic Drawing Pad 2025 edition, the XP Pen Magic Notepad. Okay, so these are the ones I'm going to talk about in the video. Now, I am not going to, actually, let me bring up my notes again, because I do want to go through and make sure I'm looking at I'm not missing anything when I'm talking to you. Yeah, I own all of these except the Huion tablets, so I can talk about my personal experience with everything here, except for the Huions. Now, this video is not going to be a super long video, or this stream. it's not going to be a detailed review. I'm not going to go through every spec. I'm not going to go and compare too many features. I will be doing some comparisons. I'm just trying to get right to the heart of what you need to know and whether these tablets would be right depending on what you want to do. And I hope that's going to help you. We can talk about detailed stuff, but it's going to make this just too long to talk about. So I will steer you toward Brad Colbo or Tio on Tech. They have a lot of videos, a lot of reviews on these kinds of tablets. Let's see. Nick Tyler. Hey, everyone. Mobile Studio Pro and expensive repairs are always standing in one or the very next sentence. Well, listen, Nick, you're so right. And for anyone who's doubts that, let me just be explicit with you. If you go on Reddit and type in like MSP, Mobile Studio Pro, or Mobile Studio Pro, and just search through the posts, just see how many of them mention $signs, meaning costs to buy or to repair. You'll be surprised. You'll be surprised at how many and how expensive it is. And so even though there's no doubt in my mind a Mobile Studio Pro has a terrific or the best drawing experience of any standalone tablet. I don't, of that class that's like a laptop. But the costs are crazy. The costs are crazy. And again, limited upgradability. And just to make it clear, I think honestly, if you want you want to run Windows and you want to have a lot of memory and you want to run the full version of Photoshop on that, instead of a Mobile Studio Pro, you should get a Cintiq 16 2025 version, let's say, and you should get a small, cheap actually, mini PC. You can get a sub $500 mini PC that is going to be way more powerful than a Mobile Studio Pro. You'll save a lot of money and you'll get a more powerful, more upgradable, experience, and you have money left over to buy more things. So that is what I would recommend. I really need to make a video about that. Okay, let's get the first easy one out of the way. The Huion Canvas Slate 11 and 13. So this is regrettably not recommended. I don't recommend these. I really don't recommend these. Okay? And the reason is pretty simple. The pen just isn't that great. And I don't even have these devices, but if you watch reviews, I think Brad talks about it. Tio, I believe, talked about it. Maybe others. But it's just clear the pen is not great. It gives you a really bad drawing experience. And I hate to say this, but it just doesn't meet the bar. It doesn't meet the bar. It's not in the same league as the other, many of the other things that are in this space. So I can't recommend it. Could they work for you for some reason? Sure. Like maybe if you're not, because primarily I'm focused on drawing, right? Could they work for note-taking? Maybe. I don't know. But I can't in good conscience recommend them, right? For drawing, certainly, right? And unless something draws well, I'm just not going to buy it, okay? Nick, they were great devices, just problematic. Yeah, that seems like it. They seemed like they required, people would run into issues with them. Rokiola Gaming, hi, thanks for joining us. Always glad to. And if you want, you can join our Discord. Let me paste the link in here. Rokiola. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. And so yeah, Canvas Slate 11, Canvas Slate 13, no. Just no. Now, I think the core reason is the pen. Why is the pen bad? Because Huion didn't include their best pen. In fact, they didn't include a pen that uses their actual drawing tablet technology. So I believe they use a USI technology pen or something, but it's just not good. USI is not good for this kind of drawing. Let's see. Rokiola has a comment. Do you talk about Android tablets or just Wacom-like drawing tablets? Well, the focus here today is specifically Android tablets that can work as a drawing tablet, that work like a Wacom, and some of these are Wacoms, actually, right? Mutaba Ali, hello, thanks for joining us. So what I hope Huion does here is release in the future a better Canvas Slate 11, 13, or whatever, and I'd be happy to try it out. When I say try it out, I mean buy it, but they need to really improve things because the world is getting better with what's being offered, right? So this is just not good enough. Okay. Now let's talk about the Wacom has released the Wacom MoveInk Pad. Please remember that the name of this tablet is MoveInk Pad. It has the word pad in the name, okay? So MoveInk Pad 11. Let me just tell you this. It's so easy to tell you this. If you want the best drawing experience, get this one. This has the best drawing experience. There's absolutely no doubt whatsoever, okay? And one of the reasons I want to stress this to you, I should have said this earlier, it's not just the tablets. You have to really carefully measure the pens. And I measure a lot of pens. I measured 67 pens just the other day, and I have over 130, I think, pens. So I know what the pens feel like. I know what they do. I've measured them for performance, in terms of pressure. One of the reasons this has such a great drawing experience is it comes with the best pen on the market, the Wacom Pro Pen 3, okay? And when you take the pen into account and you take all the other things Wacom is good at, tilt compensation and just accuracy, this gives you the best drawing experience. It is as good a drawing experience as you would get on a Cintiq Pro or an Intuos Pro. Okay? It's easy. In my list, I'll just tell you right now, if you want the best drawing experience, get this device. I have no problem saying that. For 2025, unless something changes in the next couple of months, this is the best drawing experience to get. Let's see. Oh, we have a lot of comments here. I've been looking for reviews on MoveInk Pad, XP Pen MDP with PC as tablet display. Not much real reviews and very different experiences. Some say it's good at Cintiq, others say it sucks. I will talk about it, Nick, and share my opinions, and I'll be very clear about how it relates to the MoveInk Pad, okay? Am I a professional artist? No. I worked for 30 years at Microsoft working on distributed computing most of that time and security. And I retired recently, and I have always drawn, and I've used modern drawing tablets for about 30 years. So I wanted to start a YouTube channel focused on actually just creative technology, and the first technology I wanted to get into was drawing tablets. I thought I'd make one video, maybe two, but it turns out I've been going at 2 years now because there's so much to learn, right? This year I'll start doing more about digital art and sort of related technologies, but yeah, there's just a lot to talk about drawing tablets. Let's see, Rain is here. Nice to join you. A lot of people on the Discord seem to have really enjoyed the MoveInk Pad after getting it. I kind of want to try the MDP 2025 still just because of the larger size. Well, yeah, and everyone's loving the MoveInk Pad, which is another great sign, right? And I'm going to talk about some of the experiences we're having. I hope other people from the Discord will pipe in, right? Oh, I see Rokiola has joined the Discord. Let me give a quick hello. Lots of people are having great experiences. I am too, but I think you got to think about the MoveInk Pad in a certain specific way, which I'll talk about. And of course, Rain, we are going to talk about the Magic Drawing Pad. Okay, so you got to know this because otherwise, you got to be prepared for this. Do not lose the Pro Pen 3. Don't break it. Don't use it as a hammer. I know that sounds crazy when I say that. Literally, someone broke their pen on Reddit because they were, I don't have a pen in front of me, but they were using it to press down on something, like to push some object in, and as if it was like a hammer or a screwdriver, and they broke it. Don't do that. Be gentle with it. Don't lose it. Because it's expensive to replace. It costs $130. And if the Moving Pad 11 is $450, the pen is you're getting a pretty good pen, and getting the replacement is expensive. So be cautious about that, okay? Now, there's lots of pens that are compatible. And there's the Pro Pen 3, which I've just talked about. The Pro Pen 2 is not compatible. For what reason, we don't know. It's a very weird thing. I have never seen Wacom do this in this way. But it's not compatible. And I wanted to make sure I called that out because lots of people have Pro Pen 2s. And they might want to use it as a backup pen. You can't. You can't. Don't know why Wacom did this. Yes, Nick, that is one of the key things about the MDP we'll talk about, the DPN. And now another good thing about the Moving Pad is you can use it with these UDEMR pens. So I have a bunch of them, and and there's others, but if one is compatible, basically the others are compatible. But here are the ones I have. I've tested it with the Moving Pad. They all work. Now I'm not saying they're all as good as each other, Some have higher IAF, some have lower, but they all work, okay? And they're much cheaper, like $30 to $40. But these UDEMR pens have a much higher IAF than the Pro Pen, and a much lower maximum pressure. So they don't really give you a great pressure experience, okay? Let's see, Rokiola Gaming, is the Pro Pen 3 compatible with Tab S9? No, it is not. And yes, I have tested. The Pro Pen 3 is really limited it's limited only to Wacom products and specific Wacom products at that. They're professional, mostly professional things. So it's very limited what it's compatible with. Okay, so what makes the Moving Pad special? Well, besides the fact that it has the best drawing experience, it is an Android tablet. It is just like every other Android tablet out there. You can run Discord on it. You can browse the web. You can watch YouTube videos. Don't buy it for that reason. Don't buy it because you just want a generic Android tablet. You should think about this as a specialized device. One that is just highly, highly optimized for spontaneously drawing. Like whenever you get it in your mind you want to draw, the thing that will give you the fastest path to getting a digital ink stroke on a tablet, this is the device. Wacom has done a really good job making it that way. So for example, this is a screen capture from Wacom's website, right? Even if the Moving Pad is sleeping, like the screen is off, okay? If you take the pen and you touch it, it will turn on the screen and it will just automatically put you, into the Wacom Canvas app. Now the Wacom Canvas app is such a basic, limited app. You cannot even believe how little it does. But it serves the role perfectly of getting you to quickly draw. And from there, you can take it and export it into Clip Studio Paint on this device. If you want to refine it in a more complex tool, and you can send it and get it on your PC or whatever if you really want to take it back to your desktop and work on it. If you think about this device as one optimized for just quickly getting something down on paper, so to speak, fantastic. Okay, it's fantastic for that. And that's how I use it. I do not browse the web with this device. I don't check Discord with the device. I don't listen to music to the device, and I don't watch YouTube, etc., etc. I leave it around when I need to quickly sketch something. That's what I do with it, okay? Let's see, we have questions. By the way, thanks for the recommendation for Huion Canvas Pro 19. I'll take that to mean that you are liking it. Hello, hello. Thanks for joining us. Drinkwater, you're joining us too. Man, I would love a moving pad with a better CPU. It's so amazing. I can just pick up my desktop pen tab, pen as user. Yeah, that's another great thing. Like if you're, the fact that you have the Pro Pen 3, and let's say you have an Intuos Pro 2025 or some other more recent Wacom tablet, you can take the same exact pen and have the same exact drawing experience on your couch. May not be, maybe you're not using the same app, but it'll feel the way you expect. Okay, and that's a big deal. That's a really big deal. Okay. We'll talk a little bit later about the CPU, GPU stuff, Drinkwater. Okay. Now, there is something you need to make sure you do correctly here. Let me hide my face. If you're going to buy this tablet, get the name straight. Because Wacom, of course, has two tablets that have very similar names. And I'm guaranteed people are going to buy the wrong one during this upcoming holiday season. I am talking about the Moving Pad 11. Notice the word pad is in the name. Model number DTH A116. The A stands for Android. The 11 stands for 11 inches. 6 is something else. This is a standalone Android tablet, and that's what we were talking about in this video. The Wacom Movink 13, notice there is no pad in the name, model number DTH135. This is a pen display. It's not standalone. You have to connect it to a computer with a cable. Okay, it's just a normal pen display. Both are great. Both are great, but the standalone one is the Movink Pad. And they both have the great drawing. They both have the same drawing experience because they both come with the same pen, the Pro Pen 3. Okay. I love them both. And you use either one for whichever purpose you need. But for on-the-go drawing quickly, Moving Pad is fantastic. Okay. So let me check my notes to see if I had any other comments here about the Moving Pad. Yes, I didn't have a slide for it, so we got to talk about a couple of things here. So I mentioned, let me bring up, so there's another thing Wacom does with this tablet, which is really great, okay? But we got to talk about it. I'm going to create a special slide here, okay? So just give me a moment. Where am I here? I'm going to put the slide here, just so I'll remember this. Because this is super, super important. Okay? Clip Studio Paint. Sorry, you're going to see some bad typing, so I do apologize ahead of time. No wonder I was confused. That's a capital I. Okay. Okay, so the Moving Pad comes with a 2-year license for, so it's a 2-year trial license. Clip Studio Paint. Everyone's happy. Everyone's cheering when I say this because most, and you should be, because most of the time when you see this, it's like a 3-month trial, maybe a 6-month trial. But you got 2 years here. That's good. However, you got to pay attention to this part. It's a special version of Clip Studio Paint called Debut. Okay? Clip Studio Paint Debut. So we have 3 versions here of Clip Studio Paint, right? We have EX, so we have the top of the line EX, then we have Pro, then we have Debut. So these are ordered from which have most features to least, okay? Debut has fewer features than Pro. Okay? You got to know this. Because if you come from Clip Studio Paint and you're going to go over to this device, you're not getting everything in Clip Studio Paint. So let's talk about that. I'm going to find a page here. So you should know this. So I'm going to bring over a page. So it's a real thing. Now, I have never heard of this before. Okay? I guess this is what Clip Studio is. Maybe they've been offering this for a while, but it's the first time I've heard of it. But it is it's an app that is on the MoveInk by default. And I don't know if you can install it by itself. Maybe you can, but that's a time for another, that's a topic for another video. Let's take a look here. So what we really want to find is how it's different, okay? So I'm going to skip ahead. There's actually some way of comparing this here. Let's see, where is... Okay, so this is their diagram for explaining it, okay? EX has the most, Pro has a bit less, and Debut has the least. I would not be able to use Debut. It is missing features I need, okay? I'm not criticizing Debut. I just want you to know. We'll talk about the features, right? Pro is what I use. I do not need X. I just pay for Pro, okay? I have a four device license for Pro, okay? I like it, so I want to run it on 4 different devices all the time because I switch devices, as you can guess, quite a bit. I even have quite a few one-time purchase licenses, right? I love Clip Studio Paint. It's my favorite app in the world. But let's compare Debut. List of functions detailed. Okay, so what you want to see is Debut is this first column, and Pro is in the second column, EX is the top of the line on the third. So everything's good. We're getting a whole bunch of check marks, but now you start seeing there's a bunch of X's here. So we're missing things like subtool detail palette, color mixing palette. Maybe some of those things you don't care about, right? But there's some you will. At least I certainly do. Let's scroll down. Align distribute palette. I think I care about that. Let's see. These tools are all the same. That's good. Okay, these you might care about. Speed lines, the ruler tool, text tool is there, but seems to be some limitation. We'll take a look at what that asterisk means. Balloon tool is missing. Correct line tool, I need that. Remove dust tool, I don't use that. Frame border tool, I definitely need that. Layers, now this really takes away some features I need. Doesn't have vector layers, and I live and die by vector layers. Okay. Rain, I think it's different. Rain is saying it seems like maybe Clip Studio Debut is basically simple mode. No, simple mode is like a rearrangement of the UI. This is a restriction in features, right? Like simple mode is just a UI being in a certain mode. If you turn off simple mode, you'll get all the features back. And you didn't really lose any features. Maybe you couldn't access them in simple mode. This is features are completely sort of ripped out. They're just not there. Not just a UI mode. And you can't flip out of Debut without buying a license. Correction layers, fill layers, gradient. I need these things. Okay? So I can't do all my work with Debut. Import Photoshop brushes, you can't do. All sorts of settings, actually. Show grid is not there. Show crop mark. Show rulers and guides, not there. Anything else interesting here? Let's take a look. Mesh transform and puppet warp are not there. Yeah, I didn't mean to go through everything. Vector layers are completely gone. So anyway, I wouldn't go through everything, but my point is, you should be aware of this, okay? And I will cover this maybe in a separate video, but I want to explore Debut if I can install it on just without the Wacom. It seems like maybe I can, but that's for a topic for another video. But just keep in mind, lots of things are missing here, okay? Okay, let's get back to... Oh, let's see, where are my notes again? So I do like that Wacom added Clip Studio Paint Debut, but it is limited, right? And you gotta know that. Okay. And did I cover? I think I covered. Make sure you know which one you're getting here, right? Yeah. Okay. So now let's move on to the Samsung Galaxy Tab. Oops. S9 All FE. Now, there's lots of Samsung Galaxy Tabs. I think there's an S10 FE now. But I'm going to focus on the F9 because it's in the right price point. If you want to get one higher up, get it. Like there's nothing wrong with anything above this, right? Okay, hang on. Okay. Oops, let me go backwards. Yeah, this is a really good Android tablet, okay? And I call it a generic Android tablet because it's not deliberately designed for drawing. This is good. It has it has pen support. It comes with the S Pen, but it's great for all sorts of things that need pens, like whiteboarding, note taking, marking up documents, right? Simple diagramming. All those things are or note taking. Yeah, all those things are true with this pen. But drawing, it's not great at. I can draw with this. I have no problem drawing with these. Some people love drawing with these. But the drawing experience definitely is just okay. The drawing experience is much better on a moving pad or even a Magic Drawing Pad. Okay? Yeah, Rain, I think we just got to try it. And I haven't really tried it much. I just noticed the limitations and I wanted to make sure people knew about that. Now, what makes this tablet interesting in this series, because it's not a great drawer, it's not great at drawing, is that it's the most powerful of the set, right? Now, I'm not a benchmark guy, but I think Koyo from the Discord gave me this last night. And basically, the Galaxy Tab S9 FE has this Exynos 1380 processor. And coincidentally enough, the Moving Pad 11, Magic Drawing Pad 2025, and the Magic Notepad all use the Helio G99. And the specs, the results here are pretty clear. The Samsung Galaxy Tab S9 FE just scores a lot better. Like basically twice as much. Now, do I personally feel like it's twice as fast or anything? I'm not sure. I don't think that way. To me, I really could hardly tell the difference. And none of them are really good at gaming, right? So I just wanted you to know that, if you want a generic Android tablet with decent pen support, and you need a little more power than the other ones, then this is a good choice. There's nothing wrong with it at all. Okay, I need to take a quick bio break. I'll be right back. And I'll take a look at any questions, okay? 1 minute. Okay, I am back. Thanks for your patience. And let's pick up where we left off. So yeah, the Samsung Galaxy Tab S9 definitely does have better performance, at least on the benchmarks and the numbers. I don't notice it so much when I'm actually using these devices, but I could believe this, right? Let's see. Which brings us to the topic of the Samsung S Pen versus the Pro Pen. So, if you're getting this as a standalone device, a standalone drawing tablet, and you already are using a Wacom Professional pen, you are really going to be disappointed with the S Pen. Like, really disappointed. Okay? You will notice it has much I'm not saying it's bad to use. I can use it quite fine. But if you're very sensitive to IAF, you're going to notice this has a much higher IAF because you have to press much harder to draw. It's not like you... Oops. Hang on. It's not like you have to jam it down or something, but you'll notice it. You'll notice all the classic effects of higher IAF, that you're pressing down harder, your strokes seem to start a bit later because you're pressing too lightly at first. The other thing you'll notice is that this has a much lower maximum pressure. And what that means is it's really difficult to control how pressure affects your strokes. You'll be drawing and you'll accidentally hit maximum pressure way too often, and your strokes will sort of suddenly balloon up. The other non-pressure related topic is that the S Pen only has one button. Pro Pen 3 has 3 buttons, Pro Pen 2 has 2 buttons. Almost every Wacom pen has at least 2 buttons. So that can be irritating for you. Also, Pro Pen 2 is, it's thin. It is thin. Sorry, not Pro Pen 2. The S Pen is very thin. It is definitely much thinner than even a Pro Pen Slim, right? Or a normal Pro Pen is much thicker. That might also be a bit of an irritation for you, right? And actually, now on that note, oops, let me actually edit that and make that point. Let's just add that real quick. I would say it's thinner. Pro Pen 3 can be really thin. Okay. Okay. And let's take a look at the chats here. Rokiola Gaming says they say Paperlike is overrated. That's what I hear. I've tried it. I wasn't really impressed. First of all, nothing ever feels like paper, no matter what they say. It certainly didn't. It felt like every other, matte screen protector I've ever touched. It added a little bit of friction, but I would never say it felt like paper. Okay, now we get to the... Oops, we have one more comment from Nick, so I'll go back to the drawing pad. My main problem with the Samsung S Pen is flimsy pen on my S25 Ultra. That's a very, very small S Pen compared to the one with the Samsung Galaxy Tab. Yeah, it's very light and thin. The normal S Pen is thicker than this. Yeah, it has a glossy screen, and adding friction can be a massive thing, but it didn't test. Oh, you know what? Now that you mentioned that, I should actually update this slide and mention that the tip works differently. Feels different. Actually, feels different. Works differently. S Pen has a very rubbery feel to it because the Samsung Galaxy Tab has a very smooth glass surface, as Nick points out. So that's how they compensate for it. Now, some people don't like that feeling. I'm fine with it. I actually like drawing that way, but it's very different from what you're used to with the Pro Pen 3, right? I can answer this question, Rokiola. S Pen 3 doesn't really seem to improve anything. So basically, it's a different body shape for the S Pen, but the pressure hasn't changed in any way, either the IAF or the maximum pressure. So it might be a little better because there's a bit of variation in IAF between, you know, if you take any two random S Pens, one's going to be higher and the other is going to be lower. They're just not that consistent in terms of IAF or even maximum pressure. So it's possible you get a Creator Edition S Pen and it would feel better to you, but it's really, overall, it's the same exact experience. Now you might like the physical shape of it and the size of it. Also, I think someone told me, maybe it was a Tio on one of his channels, his videos, he said that they don't have replacement nibs for the Creator Edition pen. They just, after all this time, so that's going to be a problem, potentially. Okay. Let's get back here. Okay, so now, yeah, if you've used a Wacom pen, lots of people would find the S Pen is off. Again, I don't mind so much, but it's totally, many people say that. Okay, now we come to the XP pens, and there's actually 3 tablets here, 2 of which I'm going to talk about. First, there's the XP Pen Magic Drawing Pad, and what you need to know here is that there were actually 2 different versions. But if you look at Amazon or on a retailer, there's only one name. And the artwork on the box looks exactly the same. You should definitely get the 2025 edition instead of the 2024 edition, okay? There are differences in the specs, and the model numbers are different, and which pen is included is different, right? But definitely the one we're talking about in this video is the 2025 edition, okay? Now, the key, if you're looking at, in some retail store and it says Magic Drawing Pad, there's some ways you can tell if it's the new one or the old one. The old one has Android 12, the new one has Android 14. Okay, that's the most obvious way. Also, they have different CPUs and different model numbers as well, and they come with different pens. Okay, the old one doesn't support tilt, the new one does, but we'll talk about it. It has some problems. The old one does not support a feature called DP in, and the new one does. We'll talk about that feature in a minute. That's correct, Nick. That's correct. It's only the updated version. Rain, yes, I did. Yes, it was one of my X3 Pro pens. I just didn't mention that specifically. But yeah, I did do that. It felt like all the rest, basically. Okay, the X3 Pro Slim Stylus, and I think I have 3 of them, by the way, so I definitely tested it. So here's what you need to know. It is better than the in terms of pressure, it is better than the Samsung S Pen. It is not as good as the Wacom Pro Pen 3. Okay? And if you take a look at the IAF, my subjective rating, S Pen is high IAF. The X3 Pro Slim is typical, and the Wacom Pro Pen, I should say 2 and 3, both are that way. I'll just put 3 because that's the tablet we're talking about. Right? So again, the S Pen, the X3 Slim is stacked in between there. What about maximum pressure? Well, the Samsung S Pen is just okay. The Wacom Pro Pen 3 is excellent. It's like 700 to 800 gram force. The X3 Pro Slim Stylus is good to great. It just depends on what unit you get. So that's why I say if you want a better pressure experience, this XP Pen Magic Drawing Pad can give it to you. Now here's the problem, and this is not due to the pen. Tilt, remember, is a feature of the tablet. Okay, the pen doesn't even know tilt exists or not. Tilt is awful. Tilt is terrible. If you draw with the Magic Drawing Pad and you have tilt enabled in a brush, it'll make the strokes look bad, okay, like really bad, and you don't want this, okay. Now, I don't draw with tilt, and I like drawing with this tablet. So how do I accomplish that? You can disable tilt sensitivity. You can't do it in a hardware sense. You do it in the application. So an Infinite Painter, you can take a brush and you tell it, do not pay attention to tilt. You're going to need to do that with any brushes you use, and to make sure tilt is not enabled. Otherwise, it will mess up how your strokes work. Okay, you pay attention. Now, many creative apps do let you disable tilt for a brush or in the app completely, but some may not. For example, I'm not sure yet how to do it with Concepts, the Concepts app, which I love that app, but I don't know how to turn off tilt, so I need to investigate that. Okay. What about so here's my summary on this. Actually, I'm going to skip to the middle part, then we'll talk about what makes this, The thing that makes this tablet special is a feature called DPN, DisplayPort In. And what this means is, if you have the correct kind of USB-C cable that supports DisplayPort, and you have a USB-C port on your computer that also supports DisplayPort, maybe it's a Thunderbolt port, for example, or a USB 4 port, if your computer's capable of it, you can actually connect that cable to your computer. Oh, also, it has to provide power, okay? Then you can use this as an external monitor. That can be really, there's just the tiniest bit of lag, but you probably won't even notice it if you're just watching like an external monitor, or using it like an external monitor. So that's a really special feature. Now, this could be really interesting because I can imagine that you take this to draw with. I don't know, you're working remotely, and then you're done creatively drawing, and then you just connect it to your laptop, and now you have a second monitor. It's very convenient. Now, in addition to that, you can actually use it like a pen display, like a Cintiq or something. Now, you can do it to what I say to some degree. I haven't fully tested it out, and to be honest, I don't think it certainly will not meet all your expectations as an external pen display, in my opinion. But I have to do more investigation. For example, I need to know if the last time I tried this, the XP-Pen driver recognized it was there, but it didn't let me change anything, right? Like do the normal driver stuff. Another thing is, I don't think I ever got this to work on a Mac. I had to use a PC. So those are the things I need to do more investigation on. So take that with some, caution. The ability to use as a pen display. Using it as an external monitor is easy, and that's understood, but using it as a pen display is the topic that I don't know enough about. Okay, so where you would get this tablet, like what makes, ultimately what's my take on this tablet is this. You do want to draw with it, okay? But, so drawing experience is important to you. But really, if it is important to you, the moving pad is a better choice. So the reason to get this one is because it has the DisplayPort In feature. Also, it's a little bigger than the moving pad. Moving pad's almost 12 inches. This is like 13, maybe a little bit more. And the size may be useful for you, right? So that's the two reasons why you might want to get this. Don't get it because it has the best drawing experience, and don't get it because it's the best generic Android tablet, because it's got that same sort of, the performance of its CPU is the same as the Movink. It's not. It's the S9 FE is better. Okay. Finally, we come to the Magic Notepad. Here's the simple way. Now, this released some months ago. I think it released early in 2025. Earlier. I'd have to check my live stream dates. Essentially, the Magic Notepad is very similar to the Magic Drawing Pad. It's like a baby Magic Drawing Pad. It has the same CPU and it has the same tilt problems. It's just a little smaller and it does not have DPN support. And smaller isn't bad. It's actually more convenient to draw for me on the go, because when it gets something to be the Magic Drawing Pad at 13 inches, it starts to get a little too big to draw sometimes, a little too heavy to hold with one hand. What makes this special is not that it has the best drawing experience, it's that it's much cheaper. And it's currently discounted from $440 to $325. So of the tablets I've covered, it's the cheapest. And the drawing experience is good, except for tilt. So this is why this one's interesting. It's the cost. It's the I want to say cheap. It's got a lot of value for its cost. Okay, that's why this is interesting. So again, what I wanted to cover today was overviews. If you really want details, check out TO on Tech or Brad Cobo, their channels on YouTube, because they have much more details on using these devices. Especially TO, I think, has been making a lot of videos lately on these kinds of standalone Android tablets. Okay, so check them out for details. And okay, leave a comment. Okay, that's my content. This actually helped me quite a bit. And I'll just hang on for a few more questions. And by the way, I think I will be streaming later today, or maybe this afternoon or evening, because I have other topics I want to talk about. But I wanted to make sure this stream would focus on this topic, which is about these Android drawing tablets. So I'm looking at the live stream chat to see if there's any on the Discord, to see if there's any comments. Not seeing it. Someone did point out that Krita is getting, because we were talking about Clip Studio Paint and vector layers, that Krita is getting better vector support. Let me just take a quick look here. Oh, let's see. Oh, Biros 117 says, and the 90 hertz over the 60 from the MDP is pretty nice. Okay, I'm glad you mentioned that. I'll make sure I add that to my notes about the moving pad having 90 hertz. Thank you. That's a good. That is a very good. Let me just put a blank slide here. Moving pad supports 90 hertz and 60 hertz. That's a good detail. Oh, the Magic Notepad also has 90 hertz? Interesting. I'll have to check that out. And MNP also has 90 hertz, but not MDP. Very interesting. Nick, why Samsung never tries to make a tablet for pro artists? They make super expensive ultras, but keep same S Pen, same generic Wacom, UDEMR. Yeah, I think there's a couple of things going on here. Number one, it would cost them more to make, to get some of these professional pens. Number two, they do own some amount of Wacom. I forgot. I don't know if it's a huge amount, but like they do. I think they do have some ownership of Wacom, or maybe they own some good amount of stock of it. There may be an agreement that there may be an agreement between the two companies that only Wacom can sell pro pen, pro tablets with these amazing pens. So I think it's a business decision like that. It is a shame because I think this opens them up to, companies like Huion have been really improving their pens, and actually everyone has a pen better than Samsung S Pen. Everybody. Every pen made in the last since like 2020 at least, from Huion, XP Pen, Sense Labs, is better than any S Pen you've ever used. So, and pretty soon, and the PW600 pen from Huion is now just right at the Wacom Pro pen level, in my opinion. At least, most people would not be able to distinguish them. And so there's going to be a problem soon where, imagine if someone licenses from Huion their Pentec 4.0 technology and puts it on an Android tablet. I'm not saying I know someone's going to do that. I'm just saying, imagine if someone did, you'd get a much better experience than with a Samsung device. Yeah, I'm sad about it. I wish, and we know it's possible to have one device that supports both because the Moving Pad does it. The Moving does it, right? The Intuos Pro does it. So that is very sad that they just don't allow this, right? I think it's a deliberate limitation. Collab between Samsung and Wacom would be amazing. Who can compete with Samsung displays and CPUs and Wacom? Yeah, exactly. They've got the best of both pieces, and getting them together in one product would be amazing, right? Like, I'd love, so many times we've had people in the Discord or in chat mention, what have they mentioned? They've mentioned, I want a Moving Pad 16 or a Moving 16, right? But a larger Moving Pad, a Pro version, would be fantastic. There was some quote from a Wacom VP saying that they were going to do more in this space. Maybe we're going to see one, right? I'll try to find that quote, maybe after the stream. Okay, I'm clicking on this Krita thing. I'm not seeing the... Okay, let's take a look here. It looks like this wasn't part of this planned stream, but this could be interesting, so I'll put it up here. Hang on a second. Actually, let me do it on the other machine. It'll be easier. One second. Okay, let's take a look. More, okay, here, let's put it up for you. Okay. So the blog post says more vector support in Krita version 5.2.9, which was just released. Vector art mirroring, okay. Automated curve points, okay. Ability to display brushes along vector path, okay, that's useful, yeah. Stabilizer for freehand path, animation support, include Bezier when pasting vector art, okay. Okay, that's better. Look, what I'm looking for is, and I didn't see it, let me double check, is vector erasers. Right? That is what I needed. That's what I needed. That is what is needed for a compelling experience. Let's see if there's anything else in the comments. Okay, not too much. I'll take a look at this. Let's see if it makes me, adds anything. But yeah, I need the eraser especially. Okay, with that, I think we've covered everything. I want to thank everybody for sitting in on the stream and sharing your enthusiasm and your questions and comments. Again, I'm going to be, most likely I will be streaming one more time today, either this afternoon or this evening, to just cover random topics. I just wanted to make sure we had some dedicated time to talk about Android drawing tablets. And based on this, I have some updates planned for the content, and I'll try to record that tonight or tomorrow for publishing by Sunday or Monday. Okay, everyone, thanks for your time. It was I had a great time as always, and I'll be streaming soon. See ya.